Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and today we're reading Psalm 54. What? We skipped 53? Well, if you look at 53, it's exactly the same as 14. And we did 14 a long time ago, so we're skipping it. You can read it for extra credit at your leisure. Psalm 54. O God, save me by your name and vindicate me by your might. O God, hear my prayer, give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers have risen against me. Ruthless men seek my life. They do not set God before themselves. Behold, God is my helper. The Lord is the upholder of my life. He will return the evil to my enemies. In your faithfulness, put an end to them. With a freewill offering, I will sacrifice to you. I will give thanks to your name, O Lord, for it is good. For he has delivered me from every trouble, and my eye has looked in triumph on my enemies. Now, the scripture says that the heading on this psalm says, to the choir master with stringed instruments, a maskil of David. All those are for the choir. You know, this is a certain kind of song. You play it with guitars. When the Ziphites went and told Saul, is not David hiding among us? And that is in 1 Samuel, I think it's 26. It's after the Doeg business that we looked at yesterday. So what the Psalms are doing is kind of moving through David's life. These are Psalms that he wrote, and they're moving through the various stories. And the Ziphites, they live in the land of Ziph, wherever that was. And David, of course, is running around Canaan, hiding in different places from Saul. And David has a bunch of men, and they're moving and hiding. And at one point, they go to this place and hide among the Ziphites. And the Ziphites, of course, go to Saul and say, he's over there. You can't hide among Ziphites. And so some things transpire. I think there's a battle, maybe not. I read it last night. But at the end of the day, they've all made peace, and the Ziphites have agreed, okay, it's fine. And so they don't pursue this any further. And they don't turn on David. They just report him as being in their territory. And so that's how that goes. For his part, David writes this little song and says, my life is threatened by these unfaithful people, but I hope that they get theirs, and I hope that God will take care of me, and things like that. So that's the backstory for this psalm. What does it say to us? Well, if you need to hide among the Ziphites so that the king won't find you and kill you, you might want to sing this song. If your situation is not quite as dire as that, though, you might find some comfort in this psalm. It's one of those psalms where there's a testament to the singer's faith, where he says, God is my helper, the Lord is the upholder of my life. He'll return the evil to my enemies and put an end to them. And then he begins it with, save me by your name and vindicate me. So save me from these evil working people. They're my enemies. Now, history is always written by the victors. And so we know that David is the one that God prefers to Saul, and Saul eventually gets his due. But what David says here is, vindicate me, take care of them, take care of these enemies, take care of the ones who have risen against me. I was just thinking, I think in that encounter with the Ziphites is where David and his one of his lieutenants sneak up to where Saul and his captains are sleeping, and they actually take his sword and something else right from beside his bed, and they take it across the way and they put it up on a tree or something. And then the next morning they kind of yell at Saul, "Hey, look, here's your sword." And Saul realizes they've been close enough to kill me, but they didn't. And so they make a kind of peace. I'm not recommending that either, but that's I'm remembering that part of the story. So go to 1 Samuel 20, I think it's 6, but read along in there those chapters about the Ziphites and see what you see. And you can look at this psalm then and see what it might say. Okay, tomorrow we will continue our slog through the Psalms with Psalm 55, and I hope that you have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.